In the fight my boyfriend told me that he only got with me because he didn't think anything better would come along. This broke my heart. He since has apologized, but I don't know how to feel better about this. My boyfriend of 2 years and I got into a fight about 2 days ago. It got pretty heated, and he told me that he only got with me because he didn't think a better woman would come along. I immediately started crying. He has never said anything that mean to me in the last 2 years. He rarely ever even makes me feel bad. After I started crying, he apologized profusely and told me he didn't mean it and he was just lashing out and said something. I tried to accept the apology, but it's just been so hard. I've never been a particular pretty woman. I've never been someone's first choice. I always worried that whatever man I end up with, they'd be settling for me. My boyfriend made me feel secure and desired, but now I don't know. Edit, for those curious about the fight. It was because I approached him about a relationship with another girl that he has that makes me uncomfortable. He is not cheating on me. How do I get past this? I'm so sorry he said those things to you. Sadly, words like these can have such an impact on both your self-esteem and how you feel about your relationship. My heart hurts for you. I hope you find healing. X. He can't unring that bell and you will never forget those words. Wow, he said that specifically to hurt you. It was a calculated attempt to be cruel. Maybe he meant it. Maybe he only said it because he wanted to cause you pain. You can forgive him and move on, but what happens when he does it again? And he will do it again. This wasn't a wild lash out in the heat of the moment that happened to find its mark. This was a targeted attack intended to weaken you. Who cares if you are the best he can do? Is a cruel person what you want to settle for? Yes. This. Do you want to settle for him? Because that's what you're doing. The question you should be asking is he good enough for you? I honestly think not. You can do way better than him. I wouldn't be able to move past that. That's gonna stick. If he said it, on some level even small, he meant it or he really wanted to hurt you. Either one is a good reason to look hard at your relationship and consider ending it. Edited for typos. Even if you're in a fight with someone you love, you don't say things like that. He said it to really hurt you. When people get angry, they say things that they have been keeping dormant in their hearts. IDK if that's something that you can get over easily because he made you feel good about yourself, but then he turned around and said what he said and made it seem like it was all a lie. I grew up fighting with older brothers. Nothing crazy, just typical sibling stuff, and I learned quickly how to overcome their physical advantage with words. My one and only talent is reading people in the room, figuring out what could hurt the most, or heal the most, or laugh the hardest. My boyfriend has a rough relationship history. I know exactly what his red buttons are. And they are the things I have actively locked in the vault because I know they would be argument/relationship game changers. They would be cruel and heartless and unable to be taken back. When we have a disagreement, the things in the vault never come out. I try to stick to the active topic at hand. What your boyfriend did was pull something from the vault. I think everyone has thoughts that need to stay in the vault out of respect, restraint, and value for your partner. New coworker, 19F, found my fiancé, 27M, on Tinder and he told her he was looking for one night stand. My partner, 27M, of 10 years, engaged for 3 of them, just got found yesterday on Tinder by a new coworker of mine. We just moved to this new town where he got his dream job and we even bought a house. He was a supportive, loving, and totally sweet guy. I never expected this to happen. I'm beyond shattered. How do I move on from this? Here's their Tinder convo for those interested. Skeptical, image a link, some parts covered for privacy. Wasted 10 years. You speak as if you weren't growing, working and evolving as a person. He just happened to be part of the journey. It's not like you stopped working and catered to his every need for 10 years. If you did, consider it a lesson learned. Always put yourself first and get your needs met in a relationship, and then you will never feel like you've wasted time when it's over. You can't move on from this. Leave him. He's cheating on you and you'd be a fool to marry him. Edit, hold up. And Kifel can talk to you. I haven't heard a pickup line yet. Lamau, this guy thinks he's God's gift. Right. 100%. But how do I move on from this shattered feeling of 10 years down the drain? I feel empty inside. Oh, you feel the pain, break, fall in a hole. Eventually enough time passes for it to become a non-defining memory. Life hurts. This is so true. Feel the pain. Cry, cry, cry. Take your time. But make sure you get out of there. Don't stay in your feelings for long. And soon enough you won't even remember this. Wow, what a good friend. There's nothing to move on to. Pay attention to the screenshot. He wants hookups. How many hookups has he had since you guys been together? I would stop sleeping with him, pack my things and move out of the house, and go get tested for STDs. Right? And it's crazy because I've only known her for 1 week, and him for 10 years. Goes to show you that you just never know. Skeptical. But yeah, he's never had a hookup since we've been together, so he claims, and says he just downloaded it for the day for shits and giggles and was never going to actually do anything. I like that makes it acceptable. Oh Frankie, there is no lying your way out of this one. I wonder how much fun and wild he's gotten with how many cool people. What a lying, cheating scumbag. Get yourself STD tested. Frankie lol. I mean he couldn't even come up with a better fake name like for real dude. Rolling eyes face. My 23F little brother 13M hasn't said a word since my dad 45M called him a mistake, plus other things, 2 days ago. My little brother is the smiliest boy ever. He's extremely cheeky and talks a lot. He also gets into a lot of trouble at school. Not too bad, it's usually just, your son keeps interrupting class, your son doesn't listen to instructions, your son is very loud on the bus, your son may be a bit distracting at times. Like I said, not too bad. My dad says otherwise. My dad and brother don't have the best relationship. In fact, they seem to argue every day. I think it's because my brother isn't the ideal son my dad wanted. Bro is an art kid, dad is a typical sports guy. I know it isn't right to take sides, but my dad is being a bit much with my brother. He's a good kid just with a lot of energy. He gets good grades too, so there isn't really much my dad can use against him. 2 days ago, my brother got into trouble at school again. Apparently he was talking while the teacher was talking, and when asked to leave the classroom he refused. I definitely think there is something else that isn't being revealed, because my brother doesn't do that. He'd crack a joke or two, but he wouldn't just swear at the teacher for no reason. My brother hates it when people swear? ? My dad didn't care if the situation seemed odd. Nope. Not at all. He picked him up from school and just shouted at him. According to my mom, my dad called him a mistake, a headache and a sorry excuse for a son. He also made comments about whether he was straight and asked him why he looked like a girl. Then, to top it all off, he threw away my brother's favorite sketchbook. I went over immediately and tried to talk to him, but on the first day my dad refused to let me in. My brother left me on read when I texted him and didn't answer any of my calls. I went back again yesterday, and the whole time my brother stayed in his room and refused to talk to me. He didn't go to school or anything either, just stayed in his room all day. I tried talking to him earlier today again, but he just ignored me. I asked my parents why he isn't going to school. He wasn't suspended or anything, and my mom just shrugged and said that dad would deal with it. She also said that he wasn't talking to anyone, so I shouldn't worry too much. Now my mom's getting on my nerves too. This is literally my last resort. I desperately need advice on how I can get my brother to talk to me. I need him to see that I'm there for him and that I love him and that he isn't a mistake, but I just don't know how. Sounds like a very toxic living environment. Do you live on your own? Maybe you can let him stay at your place for a bit. I know this is a lot, but it is not healthy for him to stay at home. I answered this already, but yes, I do plan on asking him to stay with me for a while. I knew my parents were a bit tough with him, but I think they crossed the line. I'll try and convince him tonight if I manage to see him. It is absolutely right to take sides. Pick a side. His side. What did you text him? I'd probably try something like, hey, I love you. Dad's a dick. I'll always be here for you, whenever you need me. And then just leave him to open up in his own time. How easy is it for him to get to your place if he needs some space? Yeah, I've made it really clear to my parents about whose side I'm on. I texted my brother those exact words too. As for him coming over, it is completely possible. My friend, also roommate, is pretty well off and space isn't an issue. Plus it won't be super awkward considering my brother knows her pretty well. I plan on asking if he wants to stay with me for a bit, Hopefully I'm able to see him tonight. Has anyone at all heard from your brother in the last 2 days? Anyone start texting his friends, other relatives, people he trusts? If no one has spoken or had any contact with him in over 2 days besides your dad, there may be something going on that needs a higher authority, police not God, involved to make sure your brother is safe. I hope to God he is safe and I just read this wrong or am overreacting. I really hope this gets better for yours and your brother's sake. It is not wrong to take sides. You should take sides. Your brother's side. He is a 13-year-old boy who's been fish slapped in the face by his own stupid asshole of a father. Tell your father he's a wanker and your brother that you love him exactly how he is and that you'll try everything to keep him safe and happy cause he's a great brother. Mum doesn't sound much better. Frown.